Let's talk about the X90J. What is your thoughts on it?
It's not as bad as um, many would believe that it is. It had issues at launch that they fixed very quickly.
Mhm.
Um, and like I said, it's really accurate. It's similar to the 900H, which is they're good mid-range TVs for that price. So
Right.
there's again, I don't think VRR is that important to me. Working 4K 120 is the most important thing when picking the gaming TV with low input lag. Um, and now that Sony has that update to fix the posterization, and then they give you that smooth gradation feature, it's going to be the cleanest and best looking 4K 120 when you're playing on one of the XR Sony TVs. So it is a good gaming TV. It gets pretty bright. Black levels are pretty good. It's better. It outperforms the Q70A decently. Um, and it's a very safe bet for the money.
The problem was I don't know if I would take it over, say, the 6 series, um, in picture quality wise. But if you factor in all the bugs and stuff, I guess that's something you would have to factor into the decision. How do you like it compared to the 6 series?
I recommend the X90 over the 6 series because it's close enough
Hmm.
and in performance while being just stable and accurate.
Did you want to say anything else on the X90J or
I would
okay?
say round 1,000 to 1,200 bucks for the 65 is a good price. The 1,600 for the 75 is a good price.
Hmm.
55 for around 900 is a good price. Just remember that the 85 is not that. It's the relabel of the 900H.
Yeah, so the UAG, this is a tricky one. This is one of the TVs that I checked out not too long ago, and I personally thought it was pretty good for the most part in like everything but gaming. For whatever reason, I did not like the game mode colors. I wasn't really a fan of just the way that it played in game mode, and then it also had the inverse ghosting. And even when you weren't using those ports, you still had a little bit of ghosting, and it was noticeable enough to not make me recommend it for gaming. That said, for Netflix, movies, TV watching, I think this TV might just be a little bit better in what the colors are going to deliver than the TCL 6 series. I don't think it has as good of black levels as far as black bars go. As far as black bars go, it's not a contender. It's not something that I would love for movies. But if you're watching a full screen TV show, I think it's a good one. The problem is if you're putting this in a dark room and you want those black bars, you will notice a big difference. I showed you that example of Loki, and it was nasty. And if we look at the examples that FOMO had with the TCL 6 series, the U8G, and the QN90A, like the U8G just looked really sad in that comparison. So while I think it might have slightly better picture quality than the TCL 6 series, I do think like the black bars definitely hold it back.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. It's like I haven't seen the U8G, but
Yeah.
just from what I've seen of reviews and your review and FOMO stuff, and
Hmm.
like to me, like I again would take the X90J over it. Yeah, the U8G is going to be brighter, but you have to deal with all these other problems. To me, something like the X90 is well balanced.
It's not one that I recommend for anybody that wants to watch with clean black bars. There's better TVs out there. That said, it is a very good picture, and I'm standing by that.
All right. So, and then here's the thing that even ratings can keep saying themselves. They don't test everything. They have their standardized tests. Anything that falls outside of it, they don't test. So the Sony's XR processor, its upscaling ability, like the stuff that the reality creation does, they don't have a test for that.
Hmm.
Um, they literally just run the numbers and then look at a couple things and they're done. And then if someone comments and says, "What about this or that?" Sometimes they'll go back and retest or check it or whatever. A lot of times they can't or don't.
The QN90A is definitely like a step above the U8G and the TCL 6 series. And that's one thing that I think is clear to me from what I've seen And I know you've seen that too with the 6 series and the Q90A. There's just a big separation, especially with processing that goes into it. And it's
Yeah,
not
that's the
close.
biggest area that TCL
Hmm.
and Hisense cannot compete anything to do with processing. So upscaling, just general sharpness, detail, motion. Like even at the shootout where the U90G's there, with the motion stuff turned on or off, didn't matter. They tested both ways. It was very, very far behind in motion.
Look, I understand that there's going to be people that really like the U8G and that's the one they purchased, and that's cool. But I'm not putting that sort of like bias into any of these TV reviews. I'm just going off of what I see personally, and that's what I've seen. And you can't compete at that level, like we're saying with the processing. Image processing is like most of what the TVs are these days. Like if you look at the difference between the say the LGC1 and the A80J, the only reason why the A80J is going to look better most of the time, how clear the picture is, just how good the picture looks overall, is going to be the image processing. That XR processor is what separates those two TVs, even though they're pretty much the same panel. They might even be the same panel most of the time.
Yeah, and the biggest difference that it makes is in lower quality content or upscaling. Um, just 1080p Blu-rays, things like that. That's where there's the noticeable difference between them. You give an LG very clean, pristine, brand new 4K HDR content, then the difference between them is you got to have them next to each other to see that hair difference.
Yep.
But like I showed, you know, if you look at tires on a car or the little numbers next to the license plate number thing, or where the license plate was made, whatever, that stuff is very legible on the Sony, but on the LG, it's just that there's like no detail. You can't read the letters and numbers on the tire. Like it's minor stuff, but it still does add up to make a difference.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'll recognize this. The UAG is going to be on the same level as the TCL 6 series. I like the TCL 6 series better for gaming, but I like the U8G slightly better for like TV show watching and I want to say movies, but then those black bars just kind of throw me off. And I thought the TCL 6 series did okay with black bars. So I think it's really close. The gaming is kind of what separates it from me. And both are pretty good TVs, honestly, for the price. It's hard to find a better TV than the UAG and the TCL 6 series from competitors. So they're definitely priced well. I will say that I've not seen the U6G, but I hear that is a really good budget TV. So it does seem like they are really good at what they do for their budget range. So I want to say that yes, the TCL 6 series, the R646, pretty good picture quality overall. But I do want to say that it is a very buggy TV, and it's not going to be your top tier picture quality. But for the price of $799, it's hard to beat. And then the gaming, VR is a mess. So I've pretty much stressed that enough, I think. But yeah, VR is a mess, and it's a pretty good gaming TV otherwise.
Yeah, it's the one that's not bad. It's at a budget price and
Hmm.
clearly for a reason. Um, I would give up that little bit of image performance as far as brightness and black levels and stuff, and go to the X90J just for a stable system that works, has accurate color. Like the X90J was either the most or second most accurate TV that I've tested out of the box LCD. So,
Okay.
there's, I just think the X90 is a far safer bet for like a very small increase in price. And if you go
Yeah.
to Costco, because you can't get the TCL at Costco, it's only at Best Buy. But if you get the X90 at Costco, then you're getting a 5-year warranty included. So it essentially makes it the same price.